Yo, what's going on, gamers, coders, speedrunners, and all-around game enthusiasts? This is Joystick Justin, and welcome to Devlog 7 for Project Adapt. This is the last devlog. I'm just going to kind of show what's new in this devlog. So, join the ride. So as you can see here, I have a setting so you can change all the controls for the game, as well as the music and sound effects. So you can do that. I have this file set up. So there's a bit of lore in the game. I also think that this new font, I think this is a new font that you guys haven't seen either. So Devlog 6 didn't have that. So here's some of the lore in the game. So this is the first time I've ever made this file. So this is just giving you a bit of lore. Where am I? You wake up in the middle of an unknown wilderness. Your memory is clouded and you don't remember how you got here. You have visions of some sort of civilization. You think you were part of something important before you ended up here. You look around and it's clear that you are miles away from that civilization. You wonder if that civilization existed at all, or if it was all just a dream. Maybe you can find some clue about that civilization if you explore this unknown wilderness. And you spawn in. So I've spawned in a sword for the player. Just to make this devlog a bit easier. This is not going to be in every world that you start. But I'm just going to explore. And I'll be back when I'm done exploring. I just have to get pretty far. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is that there's these new structures that generate, but you have to get 160 blocks away from spawn. So I'll be back when I get that far out. Did you hear that? Sound effects. So I've just been getting some stuff, and I found that was the hurt sound effect. So there's sound effects in the game. So the deer and the boar, they make sound effects when you get near them. Okay, we'll see when I get back. So I have just barely passed 160, and I've turned on debugging. So the thing that I'm looking for spawns basically in the center of a chunk. Here it is. Okay, so if you right-click this middle thing in the ruin, you found a note in the ruins. As you take the note, you are startled by a low, distant rumble. Now that sound effect's not in the game yet. You wonder if taking the note triggered the rumble. As you look around the ruins, you wonder about the civilization that used to live here. Maybe this is the civilization from your vision. You can't tell much from these ruins, but from the note, it seems that this was a very advanced civilization. The note that you found doesn't have any words written, but rather it shows some crafting recipes for some advanced technology. You add these recipes to your recipe book, you take the note, as well as several unanswered questions. So you can see that there was, if you go back in the video, you can see that there was like a white page here, and that got removed and replaced by just the regular arch there. So if you find one of those, what that just did is, up until this point, you had no access to the electrical machines that are in the game. You just had no way to get them. But when you find that, you've added the crafting recipes for that advanced technology that was mentioned in that note. So that was a pretty lucky find. Now, if you find one of those ruins again, you're going to get access to something really cool. And here's the deers. I've sped them up as well, if you can't tell. They're actually faster than. Yeah. So I just love the sound effects. Okay. I'll be back when I find another ruin. Okay, so here's another thing. I've been walking around long enough for a hollow to spawn. They're slower, but they drop a hollow core. Kind of gives the vibe of an ender pearl, but not quite. And here it is. I was just looking for this and we found it. So the other cool thing is when those things pop up that like are describing what's going on, they pause the game kind of. So right click this. Right now the game's paused, so no monsters are going to attack. You have all the time in the world to read this. As you pick up the statue, you hear a low rumble. This rumble sounded closer than the one you heard from the previous ruins. You begin to feel concerned about the tampering with these ruins. On the back of the statue, there are some markings etched. The markings are written in your own native language. If they have your language on them, then maybe this civilization is the same as the one from your vision. The writings explain the crafting recipes from extreme technology. One of these recipes outlines how to make a charging station, which comes with a warning. Caution, only the chosen one is worthy to take on the trial released by charging the statue. You wonder what that means when suddenly you notice that there's a pair of electrical prongs sticking out the bottom of the statue. You take the statue with concerns about what the trials might be contained within. Okay? So there's your statue. So I'm just gonna... You can play the game. You've seen me play the game in other devlogs. You can watch those devlogs. I'm going to just cheat in a couple items that'll help me move along with this devlog. Okay, so I have just cheated in all these items here. Just because I'm not going to bother with getting all of these for the sake of the video here. So you've seen this in previous devlogs, so I'm just gonna build this up, and we're gonna hear the nice ambience of the deer doing their thing. I'm gonna be fighting off these monsters during this night. So here's the boiler. Turbine generator, you've seen this before. This thing's gonna send the water out. This thing's gonna take the water in. It's gonna send the steam out. This thing's gonna take the steam in, send electricity out that way. And we're going to start creating steam and putting that steam into the charging station. And so the charging station is cool. So the charging station, you can see it fills up like every other machine, and it's charging. It can charge up many devices, including these batteries, but it can also charge up the statue. The statue takes quite a long time to charge up. It stores, I believe it's just 1 million energy units. So it takes a minute to charge up, so I'll come back when it's fully charged. Okay, so this thing's almost charged. I want to just show that if you try to right-click this right now, try charging the statue of this charging station. So it has to be fully charged. It's not going to work unless it gets fully charged. There's so many hollows appearing. Yeah, so you can't do anything unless it's fully charged. So it's still got a bit of charge to go. So while that's happening, the other thing you might be hearing is, depending on how close the deer are, the loudness of them is different. And that's been coded on purpose like that. Okay, so it looks like it's fully charged. I want you guys to note that here are some of the crafting recipes you have access to at the moment. So the charging station and solar panel and assembler, these recipes will change. They need the advanced machine frame, which you only get access to the advanced machine frame when you pick up the statue there. I think also the topaz pickaxe is in there too. Okay, so notice that this is the last crafting recipe. Okay, now I'm going to right-click the statue. Here we go. This is a boss battle. So that's why I got the port shot, because it's healing. And I'll just let that blow up. I want you guys to see that. Okay, so the boss is defeated. So that boss battle has 4 or 5 stages, and I might make it have more health because that's a pretty quick flight there. But there are 5 different, I think, movements and attacks it can do. So one of them you saw, it charges at you. It just like, it kind of shakes back and forth and then charges at you. That move, it shakes back and forth and then just goes in whatever direction you were in relative to it when it started shaking. So it starts shaking, it doesn't track you after it starts shaking. It just tracks where you are when it starts shaking and then just goes in that direction, so you can easily move out of the way. Then there's just like a tracking, it just like goes exactly in your direction. And then there is a it just starts wandering around. And then there's a fireball, so it shoots either a huge fireball or it shoots, I think it's 4 to 6 smaller fireballs in quick succession. So you defeated the boss, you put your hand on the space-time singularity that was attached to the boss. You see a vision where you were in a lab. You see the faces of several scientists. They all seem familiar to you. In the vision, you see yourself walking towards what looks like a teleportation device. The vision ends when you step on the teleportation device. You are startled by the vision. Maybe it's a memory from the civilization. You take the space-time singularity and you note in your recipe book ideas of how you might replicate these teleporters from your vision. And that's the credits. So these are the people that help with the game. So it gives you the space-time singularity. And so let's take the space-time singularity. Take the space-time singularity back. And let's take a look. So there should have been some extra crafting recipes. I'll just be right back when I figure out what's going on, why they aren't here. Okay, so I fixed that. There was just a small problem in the code. But now we should have upgraded our technology. So the topaz picks, you can craft the topaz pickaxe at any point. But then these are the new recipes. So shielded uranium nugget, it's just a crafting recipe. Teleportation core, so you get space-time singularity and some of those things to make teleportation core. And the portable transporter, it can be linked to a transport receiver to teleport back to that transport receiver at any time. Make sure both the transport receiver and portable transporter are sufficiently charged. So we have these 2 things that allow for teleportation. So the end game is teleportation. So I'm just going to quickly add those to so those should be in my inventory now. And what actually goes on here is the topaz pickaxe gives you access to all the the topaz pickaxe gives you access to uranium, which you didn't have access to before. Yeah, so that this is how if you take the transport, it has to be linked to a transport receiver. It's not linked yet. So if I go right-click transport receiver, now it's linked. And then if I try the linked receiver doesn't have enough energy. So I have to wait for the receiver to get enough energy. I think I made it take like 1,000,000 energy. So these things have to really get charged really well. So I'll be back when they're fully charged. Okay, so should be fully charged now. So now that they're linked, this is what you can do. You can just walk as far as you want. You can go anywhere. You can even be in the mine. You teleport right back. It's that simple. So that is what's new in the game, Devlog 7. And I'm excited to say the game is, well, it's done. So I don't think I have anything else to show you. There is more that I can add more to the game. There's definitely, I have some plans, some big plans. But for now, this is a proper working game. So stay tuned for the release. The game will be released soon. So I've just gotten some of the resources needed to make a mine. And I'm just putting the mine down, going into the mine, and I can go really far even in the mine. And I'm just doing this to show you can even be in the mine and it sends you back. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching Devlog 7. Looking forward to releasing the game soon. And as always, don't forget to keep on gaming.